There's like once every 6 months, so it's like
Tell me, how many varieties of soda are you distributing these days?
well, we have about 1,600 SKUs, which means different barcodes. So that would include if there's a 32-ounce size and a 12-ounce size of the same thing. So, you know, I've never really figured out how many it is that are actually, if you poured them in a glass, they'd be different than the one in the other glass. But there's hundreds and hundreds.
Hundreds and hundreds
of
flavors. And what do you think is your most successful flavor? Root beer, yeah?
Well, yeah, the one that's most, I guess, spread out is root beer, because people buy root beer the way people buy like microbrewed beers. They could be really foamy, they could be really sweet, they could be just like really herbal, you know, intense, you know, really kind of licorice anise type, which is what I like. I like really defined flavors myself. There could be molasses style, there could be more of a honey style. You know, root beer tends to vary a lot, so we have lots of brands, and because a lot of breweries, those microbreweries that make the beer and so on, a lot of times they have a family restaurant of some sort, so they have to make a root beer for the kids that come to the place. And if the root beer starts doing well, then they come out with their, you know, the black cherry and the diet root beer and the orange beer. You know, like everyone does the same.
Okay, there is a drink coming back into fashion that was developed in India during the time of the Raj, called Kim's Cup, which is an herbal liqueur, and you mix it with ginger ale or ginger beer. And it was one of the things that the English developed in India, and you drink it on the rocks with a spear of cucumber, which slightly changes the chemical. It's fabulous, and it's beautiful. It's like a deep red color, and I'm wondering, what's your take on ginger ale and ginger beer, and what are the differences, and what do you look for in?
Oh, well, yeah, that's really massive, because ginger ale, like the Canada Dry, is more like almost like a 7-Up with a hint of ginger. I mean, it's almost like a homeopathic ginger beer with very little ginger in it. You know? And then you have ginger beer, you know, like the best.
Burners, this is a famous brand.
That's like a golden ginger ale, okay?
Now, this isn't the traditional Burners, is it?
Traditional burners. Okay. This is a very unique one. This is brewed from fresh ginger. It's actually made locally here. Yeah.
Jamaican style.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's funny. It's called Jamaican style, but I don't think it's really Jamaican style, because Jamaican style is more like something like this.
Okay, now tell us about this.
Do you have DG ginger beer here?
No.
Chestnuts and Gettys? No, it's because we have a Jamaican ginger beer, DG. But this is just your standard. It's a soda made with an extract. It's not brewed in batches, but it's spicy and sweet, so that's your standard ginger beer. And then this here is like the best. This is brewed from, okay, the way this is made is they take fresh ginger and they cook it in sugar syrup for like a couple of weeks to make crystallized ginger candy in big vats. Okay. I went to Australia and actually watched the whole. They have all these things, and they get progressively darker as you work your way down where it goes from one to the next. And when they're done, they basically take, you know, almost like kind of a fishing net takes the fish and remove all of the ginger chunks, and it goes into a thing and they crystallize, you know, for the sugar. The waste product, whatever, is added to carbonated water in a brewery to make this.
Oh, so it's
like totally
sugary, watery medium that it soaks in, that then goes into this.
Exactly.
Okay,
so you don't add sugar to it.
Seriously gingery flavor.
It's very gingery. It's thick. It's not overpowering carbonation, but it's intense. You can make, I'm sure she probably does this, you can make an incredible float with this. It's like the most intense. I mean, we could get people like like having this UPS set all over the country.
And this one looks like it's from Australia
That's
as
from
well.
Australia. That's another brand, and we don't sell that one, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, sorry. Peggy carries it.
Yeah, long involved story. We used to, but the wine warehouse wouldn't, you know.
This one is like turgid. Okay, so for the Tim's Cup, which one would you recommend?
Well, I'd have to taste the pins.
Okay.
You know,
It would require something light and bubbly, but ginger.
Well, most likely, this would probably be really good with it, but I don't know if that's as much of a pinpoint carbonation as it would need or not.
Okay.
And then there's one other extreme, and I think you have this too, the Blenheim ginger ale from South Carolina. It is a combination of ginger and capsicum, red pepper. It's really spicy, and I've never seen someone guzzle a bottle to the end without coughing and coughing it out their nose, ever.
Okay, coughing it out
Never
their nose.
seen it. Yeah, that's it right over there. And you know what? The history is since 1903. It's right where the North and South Carolina border. There's a place called South of the Border there that's like a tourist trap, and it's bottled right behind there in this little building. It's been around since 1903. It's made with mineral water, but the mineral water, so according to their legend, is so bad tasting that people wouldn't buy it, so they added ginger and red pepper to it so that people would buy it.
But do you think that that's one of the reasons that people came up with this kind of stuff was to disguise the taste of the water, or what do you think?
No, initially, I mean, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's just because they got bored of just drinking water. I think it came from, sometimes they were herbal extracts from which medicine is made, and they were like ways of like, you know, like remember the Mary Poppins, you know, spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Okay.
You know, that's the logic. You know, most of the original sodas were made by pharmacists. Coca-Cola was invented by a pharmacist. Pepsi was invented by Dr. Pepper was a pharmacist. You know, in Texas. So all these things were usually like, you know, people try to put. It's almost like now, you know how they have all those things on TV. You know, like, oh, if you take the purple pill and the blue pill, you'll have energy for 7 hours straight with no crash. You know, that's the same logic as what they had back then. That's what sodas were, like that sort of thing. And then actually when they had Prohibition in like I think it was like 1917 to 1933, they banned beer and all that. So people would start splurging with sodas, where all the Sunday parlors can be, they called them Sundays because people would go on a Sunday after church because it wasn't alcoholic. It was okay. I guess that would be kosher.
Okay, now here's the $64,000 question.
Oh, okay.
Is there prune juice in Dr. Pepper?
Well, I can't know for sure, but I doubt it. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's actually a version of cherry cola, actually.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheerwine is a caffeinated cherry soda from North Carolina.
Oh,
And it's made from cherry extract. And it's really good. In North Carolina, until recently, it was like the second or third most popular soft drink in the entire state.
Cheerwine.
And it was invented during Prohibition. That's why they call it cheerwine.
Ah.
Yeah. And it's anyone from North Carolina, they freak out when they see it. I used to deliver the Seinfeld show, and there was a guy that worked there, was from North Carolina. He goes, well, I'll bet you don't have the greatest soft drink ever made. And I said, where are you from? He goes, North Carolina. I'm like, Cheerwine. He's like, yeah. It's like anyone from Detroit. Fago, you know, oh, you know.
Okay, so tell me.
This is more like this is celery. Okay, this is a weird one.
Okay, now I heard of this Dr. Brown's. This was popular like in the 30s or something, right?
Well, it's been around actually for over 100 years, but it's really big in Jewish delis because they've always made a point of ensuring that it's kosher, and they make a kosher Passover version. So it's become kind of like, you know, if you have a Jewish deli and you don't sell Dr. Brown's, it's like very authentic.
Celery tonic though? Does it taste good?
Well, here's the thing. Personally, I'm a very picky eater. I don't like any vegetables except corn on the cob and artichokes. So I'm a bad person to I know, really. And so to me, it tastes like apple soda that somebody was eating celery and started drinking.
Sure, let's open one. Let's try it.
It's very popular at places that have like corned beef sandwiches and stuff.
Okay, because I've heard of it. I just never tasted it.
Oh yeah, it's like, you know, one time there was a guy that installed low flow toilets in our house, and you know, he's like chatting while he's doing all that, and he's like, He's like, oh, you sell sodas? I said, yeah, all kinds of sodas. He goes, oh, same thing. Oh, there's a soda I really miss that I'm sure you've never heard of. I'm like, what is it? And he goes, celery. I'm like, we sell it.
Wow.
And he bought 2 cases of it.
Oh boy. Okay, so
Danny doesn't want to